In this part, we are going to start using TestLink. In particular, we are going to see how to create a project, test suite, and test cases. So when you log into the TestLink, you can see the dashboards. In this dashboard, there's a few menus here on your left-hand side and then also on your right-hand side. So the important menu that's for us to know in order to use this TestLink is the first one. We have to create the project. So we can use this test project management menu. Okay, so this we discussed in the step 1, how to create the test project. After creating the test project, we can populate the test project, or we can add to the test project the test suite and the test cases by choosing this menu, test specification. So that will be the step 2. Okay, after we finish populating the test cases, we can create the test plan. So the test plan is needed for the certain part of the testing. For example, we create test plan for software integration tests, for the system tests, for the acceptance tests. So we can create for any test, regression test, we create the test plan for each test that we want to execute. And then we have to create the build or release before we can execute the test cases, because we need to know which build or release is given to us to test the software and the test. Okay, after finish, have a test plan, builds, and then we add the test cases to the test plan. We add the related test cases to the test plan. Okay, after finish adding the test cases to the test plan, we move to the next step to assign the test execution. In this step, we assign the test engineers to test certain test cases. We can assign more than one test engineers for the single test cases. And then after we assign the test case to the engineer, this one can be done by the test leader. So the test leader will do this, and then the tester, the test engineer, can use this menu, the test cases assigned to me, and then it can see the number of test cases that is assigned to the tester. So the tester can proceed, the test engineer can proceed with the executing the testing. So when you choose from here, you can execute the test. After execute the test, either manually or using the automated tools, they can record all the test case execution. And then next, the test lead can see the test reports and metrics. Okay, step 1 to step 7 we will discuss throughout this module. To create a test project, so we choose the test project management as mentioned earlier. Okay, so after choosing that menu, we can see the form that we can use to supply the information for the new project that we want to create. The first one is the name of the project. We have to type in here. Okay? Car rental system, for example. And then the prefix used, for example, CRS. Okay, if you put the prefix here, so all the test cases will be, the ID of the test cases will be prefixed by the ID, that project ID, the prefix that we put here. So for example, if we put a CRS here, so the third the test case with the ID 3 will start with a CRS-03. And then here we can put a description about our project. What is the aim of the project, and who is the target group, what is the so on and so forth. And then for the next one, we have to decide what enhanced features that you want to use. For example, here the first one is the requirement. If we choose the requirement, if we tick requirement, we may specify the requirements and see if they are well covered by test cases, about the coverage, requirements coverage. So here we may provide the traceability between requirements and the test cases, so that we can check whether our test cases already covered all of the requirements or maybe part of the requirements. If we untick this, that means the requirements won't be included in the main menu or our dashboard. So we cannot have that. We don't want to have that requirements. So we untick for now. The testing priority is about the priority of the test cases. For example, high, medium, or low. If we tick, then all test cases that we create, we have to put the priority, whether high, medium, or low. And then the third one is the test automation with the API keys. If you want to specify manual or automatic execution of the test case. And then the next important part of this form is actually the issue tracker integration. We may choose the issue tracker here. The drop down this pull down called the drop down box. So this one will appear if we define the issue tracker, and then we can link the TestLink to the Redmine or Jira. This is the issue tracker that's quite popularly used. So that we can, if let's say the test case execution fail, and then we can register the bugs in the Redmine. You can register, and then we can manage the bugs within that bug lifecycle until the bug is closed. If we close in the Redmine, it will appear closed in the test execution. Okay, after creating the project, we can see on the top right corner of the dashboard, after we click this drop down box, and then we can see the list of the project that we already created. Okay, so next is after we created the project, we can create a test case. So the test case for the selected project, we select the test case specification here to add the test cases. Okay, to create the test case, the first step, if you choose that the menu, you will display it with this form. Okay? So first you have to click here this icon, this button, the gear icon, and then the second one you have to create the test suite. Test suite can be used to organize your test cases. So the test suite will be executed in order of the test cases. So after you create this gear icon, and then you create plus icon, and then it will show the menu that's for the test suite. So for example, the test suite name that you want to create is a make a vehicle booking. So if you want to make a big right, and then you write the name of the test suite and then the details of the test suite. For example, the test suite contains a set of test cases to test various test conditions during a vehicle booking process, and so on and so forth. So the description about this test suite, it is optional if you don't want to put it here, but it's a good software engineering practice to put it here, because we have a documentation about what test suite is about. And then you can click save. Please click save, and then it will create the test suite in this part. So remember the definition of the test suite according to ISTQB, a set of test scripts or test procedures to be executed in a specific test run. So here we have the newly created test suite displayed on the left side of our screen. Okay. So for better management, we will also add multiple sub test suites. For example, here for the make vehicle booking, we can make a sub test suite. For example, successful booking scenario, unsuccessful booking scenarios, and negative test cases, so that we can put the test cases organized very well here. This is important. For example, when you want to do the acceptance test, you are not going to execute all the negative test cases. We only choose the successful booking scenario, because if you still remember, the user acceptance test is meant to show that the functionality is working. But for the system test or system integration test, we have to execute all, because the main purpose of system test or system integration test is to find as much as possible the defects in the system. So here is how to create the test cases. You go to the test suite here, and then you click add this test suite. it will display this again, and then you have to choose the gearbox, the gear icon, sorry, and then it will display this menu. And then the second step is to create the plus sign here, the plus sign icon, and then after selecting the plus sign, you are given this form. So how to fill this form, the test case? So the first thing is you have to fill this test case title. For example, successful booking, and then you can put the summary here. So summary, you also can put the test condition here. For example, to validate the successful booking, i.e. the selected vehicle is available for the selected vehicle type and date range. So this is the, I think you still remember the test condition that's already explained before. So test condition can be used here, or you can put any descriptions about the test case. And then maybe the precondition, if necessary, you can put the user is a valid user. And then you still remember about high, medium, and low, the importance of the test case that we choose during project creation. Okay, we also can put the execution manual, whether execution type, whether it's manual or automatic, and then estimated execution duration. This one is for effort estimation, but this one is not compulsory. Okay? So the compulsory field here is only the name of the test case, the title. Okay, so for the next one, we can create, after creating this, we can create steps. So to create a step, we click create step, and then it will show you the step that we can enter to for the test case. For example, in this for the successful booking, the first step is the user select make a vehicle booking from the user main menu. This is the first step the user will do, or the tester will do during the execution of these test cases. And then what is the expected result? Correct vehicle booking form is displayed. So execution is manual, for example. So if, let's say, this one is not the one that's expected, other form, or maybe this one is not displayed, the form that displayed, so we can report here during the execution that this failed, this step is failed. And then next is user enter booking details, vehicle type, pickup date, return date. So no expected result, so this is not the checkpoint. Those with the expected result, you have a checkpoint. And then next is the next step that we add. Every time we want to add the step, we can choose the create step. When you click create step, it will display something like this. And then you can enter the, for example here, the next step is the user select submit booking. Press submit button. So what is the expected output? System displays successful booking message with the booking details, including newly generated booking ID. Okay. So before executing, actually, something is missing here. The data, the actual data. Actually, we have to put the actual data before execution, or during this when we have information about the database in the system. We have to update this and then put the data that's correct, all correct. Pickup date is okay, return date is okay. If you want to test for the error flow, we can put the pickup date that is later than return date, for example. So this one is for successful booking. Okay. After finish everything, we have to save.